Hey all, it's Crumb. Welcome to the new channel. I know the title of this video is the most content farm garbage sounding thing ever, but I wasn't really sure what else I would even title this. I mean, there is a Duckbrick situation, and it is, in my opinion, frustrating, so it's an accurate way of titling it. So, this video is going to be in two sections. The first is going to be a bit of a backstory for what's even going on, and it's going to slowly blend into the second section. The second section is my feelings on this whole thing, which is the main reason why I'm making it. The secondary reason is because I don't really think I've seen this situation talked about in the YouTube space. I've seen it Discord, Twitter, Reddit, but not YouTube, and I want to make sure that this reaches as many corners of the Bionicle community as I can reasonably get it to, because this is pretty important and pretty interesting news. Anyways, backstory. Duckbricks is a LEGO YouTuber, and he's also a huge Bionicle fan, and he was actually able to get into contact with Christian Faber. Faber is one of the original creators of Bionicle, and he's also one of its biggest artists. He's not a LEGO employee technically, at least I believe so. He works for the marketing agency Advance, which partnered with LEGO for Bionicle. Put a pin in that. That will be important later in the video. They managed to secure the okay from LEGO, so Duckbricks and Faber started showing off and posting scans of Faber's sketches that he did for Bionicle. And for a while, that was it. We got new prototype images, old art, and we liked it. We liked having that. But then he found the files. Duckbricks had come across a 200 megabyte folder of all sorts of Bionicle stuff from a bunch of eras. It was the actual jackpot. Upon finding this, he talked with his Discord server upon how to handle it. There was a vote: should he comb through everything and then post it, or should he go through and as he goes through, drop smaller batches of files? And people voted for the latter. This is also incredibly important, so put a pin in this as well. Before long, Mask of Destiny actually got involved with the file sorting and the file archiving. If you don't know who Mask of Destiny is, you probably know their work. They are the fan group that actually runs the Biomedia project, which is the biggest repository of Bionicle media on the internet. Files also started to be uploaded to Biosector 01, which is the biggest Bionicle wiki on the internet. Put a pin in that as well. I know I'm asking that a lot, but put pins in all of this. Write it down if you have to. One thing that I just can't stress enough about this is how crazy a lot of the stuff in here was. There were some seriously interesting things. I can't go into too much detail, and I can't show anything for reasons that I will get to very shortly, actually. But there was some very interesting stuff in there, and I can only imagine that there was even more interesting stuff that was actually not released. Just out of the stuff that we had access to publicly, there was some already very interesting things. So I just can't, again, I can't stress that enough. Everybody was just on these files because there was so much content to go through, so much discussion to be had. And then it happened. I'm just gonna verbatim read what Duckbricks actually wrote about it in his Discord the day it happened. Hey all, just wanted to provide a bit more context here. Basically, Christian and I were under the impression these were okay to share, given the amount of time between the creation of files and how they are not relevant to what LEGO is doing today. We have learned this morning, 6 a.m., that not only is there a LEGO issue, there is also an Advance issue, and LEGO needs every file shared related to the development taken down, and has clarified the prior agreement they had with Christian only relates to hand drawings he has done himself, and nothing else. Because of this, everything must go down. Prototype images, which are already on Biosector, can probably stay, given that it's impossible to plug that now, and they're out there. But we have to prevent the sharing and discussion of all files, especially slide decks, text documents, and the development assets. It is unfortunate, but not entirely unsurprising. I was just hoping I would be able to release more before this happened. The fallout from this was kind of widespread, honestly. I haven't seen levels of "it's over" in the Bionicle community like this for a while. Prototypes are the only thing that's quote-unquote official that we get anymore, and to get a glimpse of it before losing access was kind of a blow. And I'll be honest, when this message dropped, I was pissed. Can you tell we're blending into the emotional part of the video now? Anyways, yes, I was really angry at this whole thing for a number of reasons. Mainly, I was mad at LEGO. I still maintain that this was gross and litigious of them to strike down everything that got posted. Now, the internal marketing documents, I can understand. I get why LEGO wouldn't want those out. But images of prototypes that were 100% rated for their parts a decade ago? Come on. Now, was what Duckbricks and Faber did short-sighted? Yes, it was absolutely short-sighted. However, LEGO's way of handling the situation made them out to be a much worse factor than what is pretty much just incompetence on the other side. LEGO's scorched earth policy, in combination with the fact that these files are absolutely going to get hit with the Streisand effect, meaning Duckbricks and Faber get in even more trouble. Those two things together, I don't like them now, and I absolutely hated them when this news broke. When this all came out, I was unbelievably mad. And I still am pretty unhappy with it, but I'm not screaming. And how I changed about the situation in terms of how I feel about it, I will get into that much later, because multiple factors sort of came together to lead me into not being nearly as angry generally about the situation. But for right now, we are in anger territory. Now, I don't have the full picture. As not really likely as it is, maybe the LEGO Group and Advance have an agreement or a contract or something or other that's still in effect, and they legally require all of these files off the internet. Maybe. Maybe the stuff concerning Bionicle the Legend Reborn is an issue for Universal. But we don't know any of that for sure, and even then, things like prototype set images are absolutely not issues for them. Even if they are, they shouldn't be. Advance is a marketing agency and Universal is Universal. They don't make the toys. Now, you know how I said we were in anger territory? This is the second part of that anger territory, I suppose. This is when my anger shifted and redirected itself. Not solely, I was still mad with LEGO, but I found myself growing increasingly mad with Duckbricks. I wasn't going out online and telling him he's a bitch, which I believe did happen. Not verbatim. I don't think anybody just went on Twitter and put @Duckbricks bitch or anything. But people were definitely very unhappy about this directly to Duckbricks. I was not. The closest thing to that was I admittedly really laid into the guy in a private Discord server full of my IRL friends, none of whom really care about Bionicle that much. So I still feel kind of bad for being so angry about it all, being so aggressive, but at least I wasn't one of the people who was publicly really, really mad and really just awful to Duckbricks. I was at the time, and I still am mad at this point, but it's like how LEGO handled it. I was really, really mad at the beginning, and I still am very unhappy with it, but I'm not going to start yelling and screaming about it. I'm going to be reasonable, but I'm going to let my opinion be heard. And what I was mad about then and what I'm unhappy about now is that he placed the choice of formatting for those videos where he would talk about and slowly release the files. He placed the choice of format on his own Discord and had them make the decision instead of having himself make his own informed decision. Because he has mentioned more than once that he knew that there was a possibility that not everything would be above board. And his viewer base didn't. His viewer base, like every YouTube audience, wants content and they want it quick. And even past the whole YouTube audience defense, this is the Bionicle community. We are incredibly starved for content. We want new stuff and we want it quick. And that's pretty much all I have to say. My feelings have shifted in the days after, and while I'm not exactly happy with Duckbricks still, I do sympathize with him, probably even more so than when this situation dropped. And I really started sympathizing with him more after he said what he said in this following series of screenshots on his Discord. Get ready for this, because this is going to be a long reading. Hey all, I've been seeing a lot of discussion and speculation about the latest retraction of Bionicle development data, initially shared by myself and Christian Faber, the co-creator of Bionicle, and just wanted to take a second to address some of the questions and comments folks have had, as both myself and Christian are getting a ton of comments, messages, and DMs, and figured it would just be easiest to make a post. For those unaware of the situation, recently I had the chance to get access to some fascinating Bionicle development materials from Christian Faber's archives, and we were both super excited to share them out with the community. Unfortunately, after sharing materials from 2006 and 2009, we were asked to stop sharing the documents because of the confidential nature of some of the materials within. To explain some of the decision making behind this release, 1. Christian previously has approval from LEGO Legal to share development materials related to his involvement in Bionicle. We had assumed that would cover this material as well, but it has now been made clear that it specifically pertains to only the direct work that he did on the theme, like sketches, logos, etc. 2. Christian authorized me to share some of this online and asked me to use discretion on what materials would be okay to share. I combed through the files in extensive detail, removing any documents that had information like sales data, market trends, and internal discussion on Bionicle's success as a product line. Basically anything that I felt would be too sensitive to have been released. It is crucial not to jeopardize Christian's working and historical relationship with LEGO, especially at a time like this, so I did my best to rigorously comb through everything before release. 3. I've seen comments asking about why we did not ask for LEGO's explicit permission to do this, which is a fair point. I can only speak historically from my prior experience of working with LEGO on a release like this. When asking legal in the past, I have never really gotten a response when it comes to sharing items like these. And even for decades-old, non-relevant development material for other themes, I am still in limbo for over a year now due to asking LEGO about it before releasing material. Thus, I operated with a forgiveness before permission approach. We were under the impression that we were generally in the clear to share this, and it has now been cleared up. 4. A big question that I get in a lot of my DMs and comments on my Instagram posts and YouTube videos is why I did not just release everything at once, instead of releasing it in chunks like I did, 2006 and 2009. There were a number of factors behind this. A. The documents were extremely disorganized. It was taking weeks to even pull together information on 1 year in a coherent fashion. Sorting through the documents was an incredibly time-consuming manual process, as I had to read every single document to check and make sure if I felt like it was okay to be released, or the information was too sensitive. There was no option to release everything at once without combing through all of it first, which would likely have taken literal months given my busy work schedule. As such, I put it up to a vote on Discord, asking if folks wanted to see things piece by piece or wait till it was all ready, and the overwhelming majority voted for piecemeal. I love democracy, so I went with what folks voted for, although I do think there was really no win-win situation here. B. I'm a big Bionicle fan, and that's why we're all here. I do want to note that, to be completely honest, every Bionicle-related video on my channel performs extremely poorly, outside of Bionicle Retold, which was years ago. I definitely believe the general audience for my channel is much more interested in the system sets and newer releases, and at this point, Everything Bionicle related that I do, especially the fan-in contests, is purely out of love and passion for the theme, and to contribute back to the community that I love. I've been advised many times by my peers to stop doing videos on the contests or Bionicle news because they lower the overall click rate for the channel, but I am legitimately doing this purely out of passion at this point. At no point was my decision to release the videos segmented by year in an attempt to farm views or likes because 1, that's not why I'm running Duckbricks at all. It's a way for me to de-stress and celebrate my passion for LEGO, not a way to make money. And 2, there was literally no way I could have released it all at once. See, given how excited I was about the content and sharing screenshots here and there on Discord and online, I am fairly confident most folks would have been even angrier at me if I said I was just sitting on all these files, but wouldn't be releasing anything for months. The most logical scenario for me would have been to not tell anyone I had the files, spend months sorting them, and then release them. But I am a fan as much as all of you, and I simply couldn't wait to share some of these insanely cool prototypes with the community because I get so much energy from the passion around it and the excitement around new information coming out like this. All that being said, I do want to apologize for getting the community's hopes up and disappointing folks when it was shut down. I'm not sure if there was a better strategy to release the files, but I genuinely was trying to do my best and make people happy, and it breaks my heart to hear that it negatively impacted the community in some way. And to see so many messages from folks incredibly angry at how it was handled, all I could ask is to spare Christian Faber from this. He authorized me to share these and use discretion with how I did so. So if there was anyone to blame, it is me. I was hopeful that since it has been decades since the theme was relevant, LEGO would not care. But I see that was not the case. To be completely honest, given the amount of personal DMs, YouTube, and Instagram comments, even on my personal account, and general vitriol about how this all went down directed towards myself, I think I'll be stepping back a bit from Bionicle related stuff for a while to let things cool down. I'll wrap up the Zarya fan-in contest at the end of the year, and Christian Faber has a very exciting contest he wanted to help run with me at the start of next year that is somewhat Bionicle related. But after that, I may take a bit of a break. These media releases started from a point of passion for me to share some extremely cool concepts and prototypes with the community, but it has backfired to the point where it's just crushing to me to see how negatively it may have impacted the community I care so much about. Thanks all for your understanding, and hopefully this is helpful to clear things up about it all. Unity, duty, destiny forever. I can't even explain how I felt after reading this. All of my previous hate towards Duckbricks was gone. My points that I made here still stand, but I'm a lot more sympathetic now. So, how does the future look? Well, it looks mixed. Mask of Destiny still has everything privately archived, and even then the files are still out there somewhere. At least the ones that Duckbricks did end up posting. All the files uploaded to Biosector 01 are staying, but at the same time, I don't know if or when we'll be able to legally share them. Hopefully that day is soon. I wish Duckbricks luck on his future endeavors, and I will be waiting for him when he comes back from his break. Important addendum, apparently. I'm just learning this right now as I'm recording the video. Mask of Destiny apparently has the green light to release previously unknown higher quality versions of images we already know exist, which is cool, and at least we're getting something out of these leaks. It's not the largest W ever, but it still is one, and in trying times like this, we're gonna need it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I had to kind of can the original outro for this because of this addendum, so I'll keep it simple. Check out my main channel, check out my link tree, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm not sure what I'll be talking about. I don't have a roadmap for this like I have a roadmap for my regular channel. But rest assured, this channel will be Bionicle focused, so you can expect vaguely what you'll get. So, That's it for this time. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and bye.